Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5 Minutes PM podcast. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the qualitative risk analysis. I was thinking this week about how we can improve the quality of our qualitative risk analysis and try to give some more quantitative data around all the benefits of the easiness of use of the qualitative risk analysis. If we return back to the qualitative risk analysis, we can see that what we usually do is to create certain levels of risk or colors or patterns that can create, very low, medium, high, and very high, and try to use colors and a kind of signpost to show the risk. And I tried this week, and I have been very successful doing that. It's how we can create a quantitative risk analysis using a qualitative data. And what I did, if we return back to definition of expected value, it's the probability times the impact. The probability, let's suppose in a quantitative risk analysis that we have 10% of chance of $100,000 of losses. So 100,000 times 0.1 will be $10,000 of expected monetary value. Let's try to do the same using the qualitative data. So what I did, I took the probability and I created a rank from very low to very high. So very low, medium, high, and very high. Each of this, I will give a score from 1 to 5. So very low, it's equal to 1. Very high equals to 5. And evaluating the impact side, it's very dangerous and very hard to create only one kind of impact. So what I did, I created 6 different types of impact. Time impact, cost impact, quality impact, impact in security and environmental, and other impacts. And the 60th one is the time horizon from immediately to very long term. So it's very different to see a risk that can impact the project today or tomorrow than another one that can impact the project in 6 months, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years. So it's very different. And what I did, in each of this, I created the same score system that I used for probability. So impact very low, medium, high, and very high. Each of this, I gave one score from 1 to 5. So very low, 1, low 2, medium 3, high 4, very high 5. Regarding the time horizon, what I did, I put immediately means 5. Short term means 4. Medium term, 3. Long term, 2. Very long term, 1. So it's the opposite of the other ratings, because for me, it's much more hard and immediately a request risk than a very long term. And how I calculated the global impact. It's not only a simple average where I sum up all of them and divide it by 6 in this case. What I did a quadratic average. How you can do that? It's only take each of the scores and calculate the quadrant of each one, so the number times the same number, add all of them, divide it by 6, and take the square root. So you calculate the squares of each one, you add all of them, divide it by 6 because it's 6 different impacts, and calculate the root, the square root of that. Why I'm suggesting you to do that? Because it's much more reasonable to give a strong value to the upper level risks. So when you have a 5 score risk in the regular average, you are doing this risk is 5 times more important than a risk that receives only 1. But when you use this quadratic formula, it's 25 times more important. So the extreme values will be much more considered in the total results. And with this result, you will find a number from 1 to 5. If you multiply this number by the probability that I explained before in this podcast. So you will have a number from 1, means impact 1 and probability 1, up to 25. Probability very high, impact very high. And with that, you can do this for all the risks that you may have in the project using a normal spreadsheet like Microsoft Excel. So you will not need a programming tool, you will not need to do a simulation, and you will have a final number to show all your exposition. And you can manage that. You can set targets. Okay, the target for the next month will be reduced from 17 to 15, the overall exposition. So you can track this in a monthly base or in a weekly base, and you can track this in a very simple. And trust me, it's very important that we keep everything very simple. And this too, you will have something that you can insert in your balance scorecard in a very simple way using a regular spreadsheet and only creating ranks. And when you do this with all the kind of impacts, you will have a much more broad perception of the risk. And you can create many pivot tables using Excel and create a very good set of decision-making tools for you to deal with your risks. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and see you next week with another 5 Minutes PM podcast. See you.